Hey, what's this fat ugly thing? A frog? A toad? Your mama!
Yo, yo, yo! Donk and Dave here on day 24 of the Take It Easy tour.
Take it easy, take it easy.
Now I've got to ask a question. How far would you go to accommodate someone you don't know? For instance, someone that's a friend of yours on Facebook says, I'm going to be in your area, and can I tent camp on your property, on your yard? And you say yes. But how far would you go to accommodate them? Well, in the case of my friend Tim, he, being a perfect stranger, we've never met, we're only Facebook friends, and I was in the area, and he opened his house with his beautiful wife and adorable child, and they had a room for me. They a bathroom, everything available, bed, everything, internet, and just absolutely opened their doors to me, a perfect stranger. It's absolutely amazing to encounter this. Now, of course, you know, we corresponded a little bit prior to this, and Tim is also the guy that let me camp there at his yurt there on Cape Cod. But what a wonderful experience. Now, you know, you have to understand, when you visit with someone, you bring a gift, of course, and I brought 2 bottles of wine, because I know that when you show up on somebody's doorstep and you give the guy's wife about an hour and a half notice, you always bring a gift, and hopefully wine is the trick. So I gave her the gift of some wine as well, because you just don't show up, you know, like that without something. But Tim and his wife and his little boy, he's just adorable, and just having a great time. And he's not only opened his house, you know, he's invited me to have dinner with his family tonight as well. And this is just a perfect stranger, and they're just wonderful people. Tim, you really just, you would say, ministered to me in the best of ways. You know, that there's good people out there, and that's just it's wonderful. So thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate it. Let me give you guys some information about what happened yesterday. Yesterday I was in Massachusetts, and I left that campsite, and I continued on Highway 1A, and somehow I managed to go up the coast and into New Hampshire, and I didn't even realize New Hampshire had a coast, but it does. And so I followed that from the beginning of New Hampshire's coast in the south all the way to the end. It's not very long, about 36 or so miles, I think. And I ended up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And from there, I didn't want to go into Maine, because right there at Portsmouth is Maine. So I didn't want to do that yet. So thinking of my route in the future, I wanted to go to Mount Washington. So I went inland, and it only took me about 2 hours to get from Portsmouth, New Hampshire on the coast to the White Mountains of New Hampshire. And I rode the Kankamangas Road, which is Highway 112. It's a scenic byway up there, and just rode that. And I gave a little bit of information on the ride yesterday, and then it was back down here to where I am now. That was about 60 miles or so, about an hour and a half ride to get back down here, and then to stay with Tim. So it was a full day. It was a good day, but I wanted to explain just exactly what happened yesterday. That my video really wasn't the best of videos because I didn't explain what the hell I was doing, and I needed to explain what I was doing. So we're on the road now. We're going to go to a kind of a special place. It's going to take me about an hour and a half to get there. So I'm going to just ride, and when I get there, I'll kind of fill you in on it.
Eventually.
All right, so we made it to the Mount Washington Auto Road, and Mount Washington is up there somewhere. I think there's an observation station right up there, and there's still snow up here, still snow on the mountain. Very, very cool. So let's go ride it. inside the visitor center, and it says that the current temperature at the summit here is 44 degrees, and the visibility is 150 feet. We can see a little bit further than that, but 44 degrees, and it's June 13th, and it's 44 degrees. That's pretty interesting. And the top wind gust, well, it says now you can see 60 miles, but the winds are here at like 19 miles an hour. That's pretty good. And the wind speed, it got up to like 60 miles an hour earlier at 12:01 a.m. So that's pretty interesting. This place has crazy weather. Crazy weather up here. Snow and all that other good stuff. And winds, all that. Crazy. Inside what's called the Tip Top House, and as I said earlier, how people would travel up here in their cars. Well, they would come up here and stay, and this is the restored building. They have a ginormous wood stove right there, and then this is where they would eat, and then here's the kitchen where they would cook up all the grub for people that were staying here. And we're at the summit. I mean, we're at the very tip top of Mount Washington, elevation 6288 or something like that. It's some crazy, insane height up here. And this is just a good example of what it was like when people were up here, you know, coming to visit and everything. And there's a trail that comes up here, and it's the oldest hiking trail in the United States. It was they built it in 1819 or something like that. Some ancient trail, and they're still using it today. So that's about it. Let's see what else we can find. All right, so here we are. We're at the near the top, and you see a little town way down there, and then you pan out and you see roads, and of course there's the weather thing there, and there's the observation deck. You can get out there, and right there is the very tip top, the very summit, where those people are getting their pictures taken and everything. All right, so we're up here on the observation deck, and you can see the Cog Railroad coming up the mountain. And they built the Cog Railroad because it's just too steep for standard steel rails to come up. They would slip. So they had to build a cog railroad to come up, and they're going to come up here and then I guess go to the one side or something like that. But you can see down there's ski slopes right there for skiing here in New Hampshire, and this is north right here, so that's pretty cool. I mean, this reminds me a lot of the Appalachians and the southern Appalachians, the Smoky Mountains, but and it's still part of the same mountain chain. It goes all the way from Springer Mountain in Alabama all the way up to Maine. So this is cool. This is cool. Cog Railroad coming on up. Okay, we're here at a place called Ann's Baths, and as you can see, we have waterfalls here, and this is very interesting right here. This is called a hydraulic, and it's a round hole that has been carved into this massive piece of granite. How did this happen? How did this happen? Well, what happened was when the water would come down, a rock would get caught in the current, and it would rotate round and round and round. And what would happen is little chips of the rock would be chipped off, and bunches and bunches of rocks would be put into this hole, and eventually it would drill a hole into this piece of granite. And you can see there's the rocks right there. They have not been moved. So this is really cool. This is cool geology right here. When you study it, this is erosion by water and erosion by rock combined. And you can see the rocks that are in there right now. This is a very, very cool place. You can see some more rocks right there. Another one might be formed right there. And when I was in North Carolina, there were some waterfalls called Yes Falls at Bonus's Defeat at the Tuckasegee Gorge that we used to hike when I was in college. And they had the exact same things going on right there in North Carolina as you do right here. This is very, very cool hydraulic geology right there. Very cool. Here's another waterfall right here. Pretty nice, and you got some people that are just kind of chilling out. Got a guy with his hammock. How you doing, dude? And we got people hiking. And you can see all the rocks and everything. There's another hydraulic right there being formed. That's cool. We got somebody up there. So yeah, another waterfall here at Ann's Baths. All right, we got some more waterfalls here. And you got a fall there, and a fall there, and a fall there, and there's some loons right there. There she goes. There's Mama Loon with her babies. And you got some people here just kind of chilling out. And you got some other people here just kind of chilling out. And then you got the Mama Loon. That's cool. Remember how I said that people used to drive up here and then they'd have the cars fixed and then they'd come in and stay at a place? Well, here it is. The Mount Washington Hotel. The White Mountain Resort. This is where all those rich people would drive up here to stay. That is a cool looking place. It looks like the Stanley Hotel at in Estes Park, which happened to be where The Shining was based on. How about that? Very nice. Very, very nice. Wow. I think this is bigger than the Stanley Hotel. That's tremendous. That is just simply tremendous. Let's do a pass by. Make it look like we're going to hobnob with them. And then ditch it. Kind of like ditching a bad date. Wow. That is freaking cool. Hi. Coming to stay? No, I'm not. Very cool. Valet parking. I don't think I'll be having valet parking here for my motorcycle.